Hello everyone, welcome back to KaushalBioPrep. In today's video lecture, we are going to talk about another topic. The topic for today is animal poisons. So let's start. Animal poisons are naturally occurring toxic substances which are synthesized or stored by the animals to subdue the prey. So the main reason the animal have the poison is to basically protect them. Defense के लिए होता है और to get their prey. So these are the two main reasons, right? So these poisons are there, they are synthesized in the body of the animal and they are also stored by the animal, and they are used to subdue the prey, deter the predator, to basically protect themselves from their predator or compete with the rival. Sometimes they do that, right? Defense में भी इनका use होता है, that is also important, right? And in toxicology, the terms are more precise. So toxicology, what is this? Is the study of the toxins. So we have three terms here. First is the toxin, then there is venom, and then poison. What is the difference? So toxins are any poisonous substance produced by a living organism, be it a plant, microbe, or animal. So any kind of poisonous substance which are produced by a living organism, that are called toxins, right? Even we read about toxins in cell biology and other biology related subjects. Next is the venom. Venom is a specialized type of toxin that is actively delivered through a wound. So this is the difference. Toxin is produced by the living organism, but it is not delivered to any other organism, right? But a venom is a specialized type of toxin. It is actively delivered through a wound, bite, sting, or spine, right? For example, snake bite, right? And a honeybee sting, something like that. So that is a venom. Now what is poison? So poison is a very general term. It is generally used. So it is a substance that can cause harm when ingested, inhaled, or sorry about that. So it can be it will cause harm that when it is ingested, inhaled, right? So if you ingest poison, you can have some kind of harm. So the harm will depend on the strength of the poison, how it affects the body, right? Now why do people evolve why do animal, not people, evolve poison, even though people have more poison than animal, but let's not talk about that. So why do animals evolve poison? Why do they have poison? I already told you, defense is very very important, and to basically sustain in the ecosystem, predation to get the food, and competition to overcome competition, and sometimes for intra-specific combat. Now what is this? So predation, for predation to immobilize, kill, or pre-digest the prey, they use the poison, right? Example, snakes like cobra and viper, or cone snakes, they have the poison which they use for to immobilize their prey, right? Then in defense, to deter or injure the predator, because it is possible that the particular animal has their predator, it is prey to some other animal, right? For example, bees, wasps, and the poison dart frog, they are using their particular poison to defend themselves. Then there is a competition to outcompete conspecific or other species, right? For example, certain marine invertebrates secrete toxins to defend territory, right? Then there is intraspecific combat. The example is the platypus male, they uses the venomous spur during the mating competition to avoid the intraspecific combat, right? To avoid, not to avoid, to basically combat with the other male of the particular species. So venom and toxins are very very important for the organism. So these are the reason particular animal have venom or poison in the body, right? So venom and toxins are classical examples of chemical warfare in nature, right? So naturally it their body has it, so that means by default they are supposed to use it in certain way. So they have evolved independently across multiple taxa. And what do you call this? This is a convergent evolution. Different taxa have something similar over the period of time that has been evolved, and this is called convergent evolution, right? समझ रहे हैं ना? convergent का मतलब होता है ये अलग अलग पॉइंट्स हैं, ये अलग अलग taxa हैं, but they have something similar. There is another term in evolution, that is the divergent. Divergent evolution होता है कि common ancestor and then they have different adaptations according to their environment. It is also called as a adaptive radiation, right? So now let's come to the classification of the animal poisons. So animal poisons are classified in various ways depending on their biological context. That means how they are used, right? So first of all, what is the mode of the delivery? That is the basis of the classification. Then second basis is producing organism, what type of organism you are talking about. Then the pharmacological action, how the poison is actually working, and finally the chemical nature. So first of all, based on the mode of the delivery, there are two categories. First is the venom, and then this is poison, right? Venom is the actively delivered into another organism, as I have told you earlier, through a specialized structure. For example, in the snakes you have fangs, in honeybees or other bees you have stingers, spines, harpoons. Take care, these are different structures which are specialized for that particular organism, and it is used to deliver the venom into another organism, right? Snake venom, scorpion venom, V venom, corn snail toxin, all are included under the category of venoms. Then there are poisons. Poisons are not delivered actively, that is why the term is written over here, that is passive. They are not delivered actively, but they are harmful when ingested, inhaled, or absorbed. So this was the term that was missing in the earlier slide. So they are either ingested, inhaled, or absorbed through the skin, and they are going to cause harm in the body. So toxins in the poison dart frog, pufferfish tetrodotoxin. This is very, very dangerous, right? I hope you are familiar with this story that the pufferfish is eatable in some countries, but for making pufferfish, you have to do a course, a study basically, and then after that course, you are eligible. You can basically make this. You become chef who prepare pufferfish because it has this particular toxin, right? So that is something that I think you know. Second is the category that is based on according to the producing organism, right? So first is the invertebrates, क्योंकि अलग अलग classification already there. So according to that, invertebrates or vertebrates. So if we see invertebrates, so we have arthropods, we have cnidarians, mollusks, and echinoderms. So these are the particular invertebrates that produce some kind of poison, right? So there is bees, wasp, and ant. So Hymenoptera, then spiders, scorpions in Arachnida, and centipede. They all produce some kind of poison. Then there is cnidarians. Cnidarians may we have jellyfish, very, very dangerous. If you have ever visited seashore, you must be familiar with it. Stung is very bad. Then there is sea anemone, corals. Corals have nematocytes, which we have thoroughly discussed in the classification. Then mollusk, some mollusk like snail, cone snail, have conus species, and they produce poison. Then echinoderm, some sea urchin do produce poison, right? The intensity of poison, again, it will vary. Then vertebrates, may we have the reptiles, mainly snakes, right? Cobra, krait, different type of snakes. Then there are Gila monster, that is called the halodermatids, right? It also produce some kind of poison. Then there is amphibians, which include dart frogs, toads, right? So toad have buffer toxin, different type of toxins are there. Then fish, may we have the pufferfish, stonefish, lionfish, another, and there are lots of other fishes also. I have included a few examples only. Then mammals, platypus we have already discussed. Then the slow loris is one of the few venomous primates, right? The next classification basis is the pharmacological action. So how the toxins basically work, and this is quite important according to the classification system. You should know how the toxins work. So animal poisons are grouped by primarily physiological effect on the victim. So these are the types. Neurotoxins, there is hemotoxin, there is myotoxin, then comes the cytotoxin and cardiotoxin, right? So these are the major types. Some other types may be there, but these are the major ones. So neurotoxins, the key effect is that neurotoxins disrupt nerve signal transmission, right? The nervous system it affects, and it paralyzes or convulsion. This is the result. So either the prey will be paralyzed or convulsed. So the examples are in cobra. The cobra toxins is neurotoxin. α-bungarotoxin, this is the toxin which is present in the cobra venom. Then mambas, these are the snake, the dendrotoxin in the mamba venom. And then cone snail have the conotoxin. All these three toxins are neurotoxins, right? Very, very dangerous. Then there is hemotoxins. Hemotoxins affect blood cells and clotting, so they cause hemorrhage or tissue necrosis. So viper snake venom is basically hemotoxic in nature. Then some rattlesnake are also hemotoxins. Then in myotoxins Myotoxins basically damage the muscle tissue, myonecrosis they cause, and sea snakes and rattlesnakes, some species of the rattlesnakes basically produces the myotoxins. Then cytotoxins. Cytotoxins simply destroy the cells, tissue locally wherever they are injected. So a brown recurse spider venom is myotoxin in nature, and some cobra cytotoxins are also there, right? So cobra jo venom hai usme some cytotoxins can be there. Then cardiotoxin, that means it is directly going to affect heart cell. Arrhythmiasis is there, the beating of the heart will rapidly change. So some elapid snakes and box jellyfish has the poison which have the cardiotoxin effect. So these are the major type of the pharmacological action of the poisons. Then there is the chemical nature based, that is the enzyme, peptide, protein, or low molecular or high molecular weight. So this is how the poison is basically chemically made. So enzymes like hyaluronidase, which is a spreading factor, phospholipase A2, and metalloproteinases, these all can be there in the formulation of a poison. Then some poisons are peptide or protein based, like ion channel blockers, neurotoxin peptides. I hope you are getting the point. For example, the poison is going to block the ion channel, right? So some kind of signaling will be blocked, right? Then low molecular weight molecules like tetrodotoxin, batrachotoxin, lipid soluble alkaloids. So these are the chemical nature of the poison. So poison can be anything. It can be an enzyme, it can be a peptide protein, or it can be a alkaloid, right? So these are basically the classification basis. Now let's come to the mode of the action. So how do the poison work actually? So animal poison or toxin act through precise biochemical interaction with the victim's cell and system. Like we have already discussed that there are different pharmacological actions. So that those actions we are going to discuss over here. So major functions की बात करते हैं. First of all, if we talk about the neurotoxin. So for neurotoxin, the target mainly is the voltage gated ion channels like sodium, potassium, and calcium channel. These channels are very, very important in generating the action potential and propagation of action potential, or the passage, basically the neural signal generation is very, very important, and that is somehow held with these channels. So the target of the neurotoxin is these channels, and also the neurotransmitter receptors like nicotinic acetylcholine receptor, right? So basically the neural transmission is the target of this toxin, right? Action, so it block or overactivate the nerve impulse transmission, so that leads to flaccid or spastic paralysis, right? या तो बहुत तेज हो जाएगा, either it will be overactivated, or either it will be completely blocked. So that how it causes the paralysis. Then example is the α-bungarotoxin of the cobra. It binds to irreversibly to acetylcholine, and this is very, very important. Acetylcholine is a receptor. So if you are familiar with the neural basically transmission, so if this is the axon terminal, right, and this is the post synaptic neuron, so this is going to be the dendrite portion, right? So यहाँ से यहाँ पे ट्रांसमिशन होना है, so there are some receptor, because यहाँ से रिलीज होगा neurotransmitter, so this neurotransmitter is going to bind over the receptor over here in the post synaptic neuron, because this is the synapse portion. So if you block these receptors, the nerve impulse is not going to transmit. That is the whole point. So the bungarotoxin of the cobra, it irreversibly binds to the acetylcholine receptor and prevent the transmission of the nerve impulse. Then tetrodotoxin blocks the sodium channel. If sodium channel is blocked, so the sodium will not enter or exit the cell, because sodium channel is blocked now. So it is directly related to the respiratory failure also. So there are different ways accordingly how the channels basically work. And sodium is very, very important in nervous system. Why? Because nerve impulse is generated with the help of sodium. Sodium enter and potassium exit, and it will create the gradient, right? And the sodium basically helps in changing the potential of the membrane. So all these things we will discuss in the physiology part, right? I hope the neurotoxins are clear. Now let's come to the hemotoxins. So hemotoxins the target is blood component or clotting cascade, because we are talking about the blood cells. So action is some act as anticoagulant, that means They will prevent clotting, that means a lot of bleeding will occur, right? Other will cause the intravascular coagulation followed by the hemorrhage. Sometimes if there is wound, the bleeding will not stop. That is the case of the anticoagulant. There is no coagulation, but sometimes inside the vessels there is clots, right? So these are two things that the venom can do. Example is viper venom has the metalloproteinase. So this is the chemical nature of the venom, and it causes the capillary damage and widespread bleeding. So this is basically preventing the coagulation also. Then next is the myotoxins. So myotoxins have the target skeletal muscle fibers. The action is that they cause muscle cell lysis. So they're basically causing the death of the muscle cell. So muscle necrosis, myoglobinuria, and possible kidney failure is also there when the body is dealing with the myotoxins. And sea snake venom is like that, right? Then there is cytotoxin. So cytotoxin is the journal cell membrane is the target of cytotoxin, because cell is the basically target. So action is it damage the phospholipid bilayer. So phospholipid bilayer gayi to integrity of cell is lost, right? And it cause the local cell death. Wherever the toxin is there, that particular cell is going to die, and tissue necrosis will be there. Example is cobra cytotoxin, brown reckless spider venom. All these are the cytotoxin venoms, right? So they bind to the cell membrane and they cause the damage to the phospholipid bilayer, right? Spider venom यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है. The nature is the sphingomyelinase D spider venom, right? Chemical nature. Then there is cardiotoxin. The cardiotoxin, the target is cardiac muscle cell. The action is that they disrupt the heart rhythm, heart beats, and then propel the blood towards the body, right? So if the beating of the heart, the rhythm of the heart is disrupted, so it will cause the fibrillation or the cardiac arrest, right? And examples include the box jellyfish toxin. It causes the rapid cardiac collapse. So within few minutes the heart will stop beating. Very, very dangerous. Now there are some additional factors like enzymes like hyaluronidase break down the connective tissue. So that means that their target is somehow different, and it is not included in some kind of category. So sometimes when the venom has enzyme hyaluronidase, it breaks down the connective tissue, the toxin spread more rapidly, right? So it is helping the venom to act in a more profound way. Then inflammatory mediators like histamine and kinins, they cause pain and swelling in the area. Then venom may contain cocktails, like a snake venom can have neurotoxin, cytotoxin, and hemotoxin fractions. So it is not like that the particular snake's venom is only going to have one type of toxin, right? It is neurotoxins. No, it has combination of the effective toxins, like neurotoxins are there, cytotoxins are there, hemotoxins are there. Like in cobra venom, I've told you there are cytotoxins also, right? There are neurotoxins also. So this is called the cocktail. So venom may contain, it is not surely for every venom, but some venoms may contain cocktails, right? So combination of the toxins. Now what are the uses of animal poisons? So animal poisons are not just used as weaponry from animals, but they are also very important for science, medicine, and technology. So first of all, for basic research, yeah, because you need the poison to study it, right? So only then you can prevent some kind of antidote for it. So neurotoxins first of all help map ion channel synaptic transmission, like the α-bungarotoxin widely used in the to study the nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. So we are using them to study, right? And then hemotoxin help understand blood clotting pathway. Venomics is the omics approach, map all the genes, proteins in the venom glands, right? So snake has venom glands, so discover new bioactive molecules also. So basic research may they are being used. Then drug development. So venom basically inspire the therapeutic agents, like for some examples are there, like the captopril, ziconotic, and exenatide. So these three are examples. So captopril is the first ACE inhibitor for hypertension, right? So this is something which we can use in pharmaceutical. So this is inspired by the bradykinin potentiating peptides in the Brazilian pit viper snake. So they studied the Brazilian pit viper venom, and from there they find out the bradykinin potentiating peptide, and then they developed this particular drug, that is the captopril. Then there is ziconotid. Ziconotid is the non-opioid analgesic, right, from cone snail conotoxin, and they block the N-type calcium channels. So this is another drug. Then there is exenatide. This is the type 2 diabetes drug, which is basically derived from the Gila monster venom peptide. So this is also very, very important, because these pharmaceutical drugs are going to be used to cure certain diseases, right? So this is the second advantage. These are only 3 examples. There are lots of other examples, you can look for it. Then there is anti-venom production. This is also very important. So venom are used to immunize the host cells like horse and sheep. So antibodies are collected and proceed into the anti-venom. So basically you take the venom of the particular snake, and then you use it over a host animal, and then from the host animal you collect the antibody, and that antibody is your anti-venom, right? So a saving treatment for snake bite and scorpion stings are there because of this anti-venom production. Then diagnostic and research tool is there. Some venom components are used in the laboratory test, like enzymes for anti-blood clotting assays to use them. Neurotoxins as molecular probes are used in electrophysiology. So they have a lot of use in the research area. Then lastly, there is emerging experimental use. So in cancer therapy, in antibiotic potential, and pain management. So some venom peptides show selective toxicity towards the cancer cell, the highly dividing cell. Then antibiotic potential is there. So antimicrobial peptides from the insects or snake venoms have antibiotic potential. And then the pain management. Some venom derived peptides are used to treat the chronic neuropathic pain. So these are the emerging uses. So overall, if we basically cumulate all of this, so hypertension treatment के लिए यूज़ हो रहा है. एग्जाम्पल आपके पास कैप्टोप्रिल है, विच इज़ सोर्स इज द पिट वाइपर. पेन रिलीफ के लिए यूज़ हो रहा है. सो देर इज जिकोनोटाइड विच इज डिराइव फ्रॉम कोन स्नेल. देन देर इज एंटी डायबिटिक exenatide which is derived from the Gila monster. Then there is anti-venomous, that is polyclonal antibodies from various snakes. And there is neuroscience research, for example the α-bungarotoxin which is from the cobra venom. So this was all about the venom and basically animal poison, their uses and classification. If you still have any question, feel free to comment it down, right? And if you understand something, do like the video and share it with your friends who can get benefited from it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more lectures. Thank you so much. I will see you all in the next video lecture.